Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I look a little bit different in this intro than I typically do, and that is because this is straight out of my skincare routine. I have done nothing else but skincare and SPF, but I had a comment on one of my recent videos asking if I can do an eye prep video, like how I prep my eyes for makeup. And that honestly is one of my most asked questions, what I use for an eye primer. What is on your lids when you come on to film a video? So even though I have done this before, I don't think I have ever done a full video completely dedicated to it. So what I'm gonna show you today is every step that I take before I come on camera when I'm doing a makeup look. So I will include my brows, I will include my eye prep, and I will include my under eye prep. And the very first thing I do is brows. This varies depending on who you are as to whether or not you like to do your brows first or last. Because I have half of a brow, I find it's necessary I do them as the very first step because it frames my entire face, not just my eyes, for the makeup that I'm going to do afterwards. If I would wait until the very end, I would have a hard time visualizing what everything else is supposed to look like as I'm doing it because I don't have that framework. So I'm gonna start out using, it's not a new pencil, it's actually the second one that I have used from this brand, but I don't think I've talked about it on camera. And this is a K-Beauty brand and it's called Lily by Red, and it's the Skinny Mess Brow Pencil. It does have a spoolie on one end, which is, for me, necessary. And I don't know what color this is. Maybe it's on the box, so I'll put it down in the description box. But I got this from Yes Style. I think it was like $6 or $7, and I really like it. The next time, I'm just gonna go ahead and purchase like 4 or 5 since it takes a while to get those packages, but I do like it. I like the color. So what I do first, and the reason it's necessary for me to have a spoolie, is I always brush what little brows I do have up so I can see where I really need to fill them in. This one is getting even more sparse. Yay me. This is, y'all. Oh, I wanted to ask. A friend of mine got something done to her brows this past week, and she text messaged me pictures and said how awesome it was. Her before and afters look great, but she also has way more brows than me. And I want to see if any of y'all have ever gotten it. It's called Nano Strokes. So it's not full microneedling, it's not powder brows, it's nano strokes. I'm very, very hesitant to do anything to my brows permanently for fear that I'm not gonna like it. I don't necessarily like how microblading fades. I have a lot of clients that have had microblading done, and at a certain point your eyebrows look blue because of the fading of the ink. So let me know your experience. I know a lot of people are like, you need microblading. Yeah, I mean, I would probably benefit from it, but I'm not at that point yet. So I just fill in a little bit at the front, and then I start at the bottom and take this angle that my hair is kind of going up as where my arch should be. Draw the arch and just bring the tail down. Just like that. And then I do not start from the point where my brow is brushed up. That's going to provide too much of a thick brow. So I kind of brush it back down because I've already filled in where I need to. And then I just continue that line and connect it to the arch. And that gives me the initial shape of my brow. And once I have that initial shape on both eyes, I will go in with a brow powder. And I'm currently still using, I've been using this forever, the e.l.f. brow palette. I don't even know if they still have this. It contains 2 powders and 2 waxes. And this is in the shade, I don't know, y'all. Oh yeah, taupe. So I do not touch the waxes. As you can see, they have not been used. I obviously mainly use this color, and then I will use a touch of this color. And I have used the same brow brush for years as well. And my favorite is the Anastasia. It's wiped off. I think it's the A12. I'll put it down in the description box. And I just pick up some of that lighter brown. I start on the inner corner of my brow with the brush this way. I prefer a little bit of a squared off inner corner. So I just take it a little bit, square that inner corner off with the powder. And then all I'll do is kind of fill the outline of what I've already done with the pencil and just kind of perfect it a little bit. I've had people say they love my brows. I've had people say they hate my brows. Here's the best thing about makeup that you don't like on other people, it's not your face. So it doesn't really matter. It doesn't hurt anybody. I have had to figure out what works for me and my likes over the years because I just don't have any brows and there's only so much I could do. This side, I need a little bit more filling in on the inner corner. I need to match it up to the spot that it's supposed to be. So I put a little bit more there. My brows will never be sisters, not twins. You hear that all the time. Oh, brows are supposed to be sisters, not twins. Yeah, mine are long lost cousins and I'm okay with that. Like I have to be. So the only other thing that I do after this, especially if I'm not going to be wearing makeup on that day or if I'm doing a lighter look, I will go in with my Jane Iredale Pure Press base in Ivory, which I will also use again, and just put a little bit of that in the brow to lighten it up some. And some people will be like, well, can't you just use a lighter powder or a lighter pencil? I can, but there's also something to be said for the undertone of pencils and powders. And I don't want something too warm or too red. And a lot of times when you go lighter, that's what happens. So this just works for me. Now my brows are done. We are going to get on to priming my lids. And I use now and have forever the NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer. Now, not only do I use this on myself, it is pretty much the only eye primer I use in my kit on all ages. And the difference of a 15-year-old using this and a 75-year-old using this is just the amount that's used. And honestly, even the 15-year-old doesn't need a lot. This is a very, very pigmented product. It is my favorite concealer also for on the face blemishes or hyperpigmentation or anything that you're wanting to cover up on the face. This is very, very strong, very good coverage, and lasts a very long time. So I'm going to take my Bobbi Brown Full Coverage Touch-Up Brush and dip it in just like that. It's all you need, I'm telling you. This one pot will last me a year. Now this shade is Creme Brulee. My favorite shade is Honey. But the last time I repurchased it, they didn't have it. So Creme Brulee works. The reason I like Honey is because it has a little bit of a warmer undertone, like a peachy undertone. And as you can see, I have a lot of discoloration on my eyelid. And it just kind of color corrects it even better. But again, this works. So I've just patted on all the way from the bottom of my brow to my lash line. You can see how full coverage that is. And then I take that same powder and set it down. Now, if I am not wearing makeup, wearing a tinted SPF, then I don't even have to go in with this. I can just use this powder. This is technically a foundation powder, but this is for getting ready for like full makeup. And again, if you don't use a lot of this, which you can tell you don't need a lot, it's not going to affect your eyeshadow that you put on top. But it will help the colors stay true to the colors they actually are. For instance, if I were to not put any concealer or color correct my eyelids and go straight into an eyeshadow palette, the colors that are represented in the eyeshadow palette when I'm looking at them are not going to translate the same when mixed with my discoloration on my eyelids. It's kind of like taking a grayish purple piece of construction paper, putting an eyeshadow on it and expecting it to look the same color as that eyeshadow. No, it needs to go on something that's clean and corrected and more of a white cream base. I typically do my eyes before my foundation when I am getting ready myself. I, for some reason, do it opposite on camera, but when I'm getting ready myself, I do my eyes before my foundation. So I have started doing this step right now. And this is my City Beauty Line Blurring Wrinkle Filler. I've talked about this so much. I love it so much. This is my second one. I quickly went through, not quickly, but I use it every single day. I take just a small amount on my ring finger, warm it up between the two, and then just lightly stipple it under the eyes. What this does is it fills in every fine line. I have a scar underneath this eye that it fills in nicely, and helps my concealer lay the very best it can lay on my eyes all day long. Again, I have sung its praises ever since I tried it last year, and it's still something I use every single day. Now, at this point, this has time to kind of sink into my skin as I do my eyes. I'm not doing my eyes for this video. In fact, I only have one more step, and that is my under eye corrector. A lot of times most of the time I include this in my videos, but I consider this a prep for my eye and under eye, so I'm including it in this one as well. And no surprise, my Dermatology Luminous Eye Corrector SPF 41. Ever since I got this, I have been using it every single day as my corrector. I'm only using medium today. I used medium and tan in one of my other videos, and someone was like, I am not putting 3 products under my eyes. That's too much. I never said you had to. I have the colors, and I like the more peachy, orangey undertone of the tan. But when I'm not wearing makeup, I will only use the medium because it really just blends into my skin flawlessly. So I'll just put a little bit right in the trough of my eye where my darkness is the worst. And then take my BK Beauty 113 and press it under the eyes. And I will mostly concentrate where my darkest area is in the corner, and it will bring anything else. And then I'll kind of take whatever's on brush and brush it down because it might help some of my redness right there. This is what I would do if I'm not wearing makeup at all. And that is how I prep my eyes. From eyebrow to under eyes, to get ready for a video, to get ready for more makeup. This is what I do every single day. I will have all the brushes and products linked down below. Hopefully this was helpful for y'all. Let me know if you have any questions. And I will be back in a few days with my next video. Thank y'all so much for watching. Be sure and like and subscribe before you leave so you don't miss out on any future videos. And I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day.